Whoopi Goldberg recent statement that the Holocaust was not based on race is not correct. The Nazis regarded the Jewish people as having the blood of the Negro, and they were regarded as non-Aryan. However, race is a social construct. Hitler had sub-Saharan DNA E1b1. The term white cannot be regarded as a racial category. Richard Attenborough, who has white skin, also has sub-Saharan DNA E1b1, so race is a social construct. The Sahara has been used by Europeans as an artificial barrier that cuts Africa into two. Geneticists, economists, policymakers, and academics constantly use the term in bizarre ways. An article in The Economist, "What is Sub-Saharan Africa?" acknowledged the inconsistent use of the term. The answer might seem obvious. Anywhere south of the desert is, geographically, sub-Saharan. The first problem is that some countries, like Mauritania, are mostly in the desert itself. And the confusion runs deeper. Consider Somalia and Djibouti, both in the Horn of Africa. They are south of the Sahara, but the IMF oversees them from its Middle East and Central Asia department. The World Bank used to include both countries in sub-Saharan Africa, before moving Djibouti to the Middle East and North Africa in 2000. Meanwhile, Eritrea, to the north of both of them, is considered sub-Saharan. And whereas the World Bank includes the Arabic-speaking states of Mauritania and Sudan in sub-Saharan Africa, the IMF does not. What is Sub-Saharan Africa? By L. T. Kampala, Economist, 7th March 2019. The reader can see the nonsense propagated by Eurocentrics. Mauritania, located directly in the Sahara, is defined as sub-Saharan, even though it is not located south of the Sahara. Geneticists use the term in an incorrect way, since Moroccan males have 85% sub-Saharan E1b1y haplo-DNA-identical DNA to their East African cousins. Scientists suffer from cognitive dissonance when they encounter sub-Saharan E1b1 DNA in Europe. Greece, Italy, Albania, Bulgaria, and Romania have considerable sub-Saharan E1b1 DNA, reaching 50% in some parts. Whenever they discuss this male haplogroup, they conveniently delete any reference to sub-Saharan Africa. The IMF plays its own games. Suddenly, Djibouti, an exceedingly small East African country, was moved from sub-Saharan to Middle East. And yet Eritrea, to the north of Djibouti, is classified as sub-Saharan by the World Bank? A very confusing situation. The distribution of sub-Saharan haplogroup EM78, Y-DNA, illustrated by the following map, shows that the population of Northern Africa is closely related to groups living south of the Sahara. It should be remembered that during World War II an attempt was made by the Nazis to create an anthropological collection of the Jewish race. The aim was to prove the superiority of the Aryan Germans over the Untermenschen, or subhumans. This collection was housed in the Anatomy Institute at the Reich University of Strasbourg. The 1940s saw craniology swiftly abandoned. Eurocentrics now had a new toy. The new field of blood group analysis was born. But even this was also abandoned because it surprisingly revealed a connection between Celts and Berbers and other non-European people. By the 1990s, DNA technology became established. The Black Celts aims to show how the Celts did not inhabit Ireland or Britain. These islands were inhabited by people related to Africans and southern Mediterranean people. Skin color only changed recently. So Whoopi Goldberg is not correct. The Holocaust was based on race. Hitler rants are clear about this. However, race is a social construct since many Europeans have sub-Saharan ancestry. The Aryan Celts are nowhere to be found. The Iron Age inhabitants were extremely diverse and do not constitute a homogeneous group at all. The Romano-Briton graves excavated in Southwark, London, unearthed 22 individuals buried between the 2nd and 4th century AD. The cemetery at Lant Street, excavated in 2020, produced 84 inhumation that have added to our knowledge of migration patterns. From the examination of the skeletons and observable traits, the archaeologists classified the remains as follows: 28% closest to the European sample, 24% classified closest to the African sample, and 16% classified closest to the Asian sample. Again, the results show a cosmopolitan population with significant numbers of African and Asian people, constituting 40% of samples. What do you think? Let me know. and follow on Twitter at black_Celts.